So before we get into this one, Mr. Reagan actually saw the video that I did on his part 1, and he, you know, made it very clear that, oh no, I don't, what's the name? I know plenty of black women. Like, bruh, I'm just making jokes. I'm not trying to cast any aspersions on you, you know? And he was like, oh, all right, cool. I mean, he said that the show was good, and I appreciate him for that. So let's just knock that out. Like, just salute to the dude. I actually wasn't subscribed to him on this channel, so I'm definitely rectified that, and he dropped part 2 while I was at work, actually working for a change. So we about to get into this, the problem with black culture part 2. And I gotta say something for the thumbnail right quick. This is, I think, an adult male, but the entire video is about kids. So I don't know, make of it what you shall. Let's go.
The problem with black culture part 2, entitled Black Kids. Mr. Reagan. So, last episode we talked about the strong black woman and how she is hurting herself by being such an insufferable witch.
And now, let's speak about her offspring that, you know, she don't need no man to raise and help guide and all this other fun stuff.
But this episode, we're moving on to the kids. In Philadelphia this month, on the 4th of July actually, 60 black teenagers raided a Walgreens. They looted the place, they physically attacked some of the employees, and they caused thousands of dollars in damage.
That is a gigantic snatch and run. I mean, if you've seen Scary Movie, remember at the end when it's like, snatch and run? Like, that's something that's been going on. It's not just black kids that do this. I mean, I've seen it never in the numbers like 60, like 7, 80, but yeah, this is shenanigans just taken to its next logical level.
Look at this craziness. This is a total lack of respect for other human beings. Imagine if this were white Covington High School students in MAGA hats. This would be on every news network 24 hours a day for the next 6 months.
But that's the thing. I've seen plenty of tweaker kids and like hung out in these areas and known these types of folks where, you know, like it's no different when it comes to the only difference here is just the numbers as far as, you know, the cultural, how we do as a culture, you know, snatch and run, dine and dash. Like, there's childhood shenanigans that we all have participated in, you know. I mean, I don't want to say we all, because I can't speak for everybody, but growing up, coming up, hey, we ain't got much to do, and we're in this environment, particularly of the urban variety, where it's like, yo, let's just get some mischief, and shoot, that's some organized shit what those kids had going on.
That Trump inspires evil in the youth of today. But MAGA kids don't need to loot, because just standing there is aggressive.
There's something aggressive about standing there.
All of the...
Okay, and what happened to those Covington kids was terrible. I mean, those black Israelites that was standing there, like, just talking all that disgusting nonsense should have been checked right then and there. Somebody should have spoken up and said, hey, like, these are children. You don't speak that way in front of kids. But, hey, nah, that's not particularly how things have gone, you know?
Local reports I saw said teens. None of the reports identified them as black teens. Why? Because white people are terrified of being called racist. So why am I identifying them as black? Why do I think that this is important? Because I think that this is a black problem. I've never seen 60 white teenagers loot a Walgreens. And it's not...
15. I've seen 10. Like, these things do happen. Make no mistake. I mean, and yeah, there is a part of the culture in which it's encouraged. It's actually, like, due to the lack of, you know, not just paternal, but maternal as well, because the moms be off working or doing whatever they got to do. And after a certain point, like, once the baby gets to a certain point, like, it's no longer a baby, go do something, I got other stuff to do, and boom, that's how you end up with 60 kids with all the type of time in the world and no type of, and no one with a, you know, a solid, hey, nah, maybe we shouldn't do it. Well, maybe there was, and they just didn't go along. I mean, shoot, it probably could have been like 120.
Problem with just a few individuals. This is 60 people. There are some small towns in America with fewer fewer people. So this is not an individual problem. This is a community problem. And this doesn't really hurt white people that much, or Asians or Hispanics.
That's where you're wrong, because it seeps. It's the poison that's within the urban communities, and that lack of father, that lack of guidance, the lack of honor and respect, that is seeping out. And trust me, I've like Asian, Caucasian, all of them. Like it's American. It's particularly a black problem, and it is one that spurs from the black community, but it is a very uniquely American problem as well.
Hurts the black community. Because if I'm a business owner, black, white, Asian, whatever, the race is irrelevant. I don't want to open a business there. I don't want to open a business on that street. I will pay higher rent in a better location because I'll be paying less insurance, and my windows won't get broken, and my store won't get robbed, and I won't have to...
That's what the bulletproof glass is for. And like, I mean, there's stores that pay the poppies, the bodegas. There's a lot of and with the gentrification coming in and the police state being just thoroughly administered for quite a while in many of these areas, that's now being peeled back because of the lack of political backbone in supporting the police departments and the law, because you kind of, these areas, these spaces, particularly the urban ones, the ones that's been red zoned, they're so infantilized at their core and corrupted and poisoned that yikes, it is a tall order trying to bring any type of legitimate order there, because of the mechanisms and the people that have been in place since the 70s, you know?
Clean off the graffiti all the time. The place will be cleaner and safer, and I'll be able to hire better staff. And I have heard, upon occasion, political pundits complain that one of the reasons that the black community suffers is that businesses don't want to open in their neighborhoods. Okay, yeah, this is why. This is why. Nope.
But that's the thing, those like businesses aren't, they're not just incentivized, but if you want to make sure that the people within these areas stay just completely going every which way but loose, you make sure that opportunity, economic mobility is not there for them. That's why the laws are in place. That's why the laws are applied, and you know, in the manner in which they are.
Nobody wants to open a business in a dangerous, filthy, violent neighborhood. Nobody. And it's not like we're in a recession. Black people are enjoying the lowest unemployment than ever in history.
So if you're familiar with my content, you're familiar with my work, no, those numbers, like all the numbers, when it comes to statistics, it is what it is. Just because someone's employed does not mean that they are sitting there balling out of control. You know, I mean, it's just, it's a cute statistic to throw out there. So, and I mean, and I want to say it's a factual one too. It's true facts, because trust me, I know people who can't give away jobs right now, but the what's the name, like the cost of living and expenses, overhead, all these other things, they do take into account. So it's like, just because someone has a job does not mean that they're, you know, like about to go jet set and take over the world. Can you dig it?
The lowest in history. Think about that for a second. It's now that this stuff is happening. Not when they're really suffering, but when they're doing well. You're doing well! Alright, now before I go into...
Eric Michael Dyson is trash. He's about to shill. So we're gonna get all past that. Boom, let's go.
60 kids raiding a Walgreens. I mean, it's a bit of a spectacle, but it's not that bad. It's just a bit of looting. And you know what? Actually, I kind of agree with that. It's not that bad. It's messed up. It's a sign of a problem in these kids' homes and schools and whatnot, but it could be worse. But here's the thing.
Well, you really front-loaded it now, didn't you there, Mr. Reagan? Well, it could be worse.
It is worse. Much worse. In the same town, Philadelphia, a few weeks before, these teenagers ruthlessly beat a man, breaking his jaw. Apparently, for no reason.
Philadelphia police say 8 of these teens, boys and girls, are considered suspects in a brutal beating of a man in Old City. You'll see the video freeze during the moments. You can see their faces best. The Detectives say the victim suffered a broken jaw and several other facial injuries. We also talked today about why teens would want to do something like this and how to prevent it. Kinnebrew says it starts with parents and role models engaging these teens. And I think it's just a matter of...
It's that, like, they always sit there and say, oh, it's the parents and the role models, what kind of environment, what kind of laws are, like, what, like, that's the thing. Like, these places, at their core, where these folks come from, and honestly, to, like, okay, how do I put this? Because we got a lot of migration, particularly within the urban zones. I mean, you got people coming from Africa and all these other different spaces. Haiti, Jamaica, you know, with just black faces. So it's like, oh, yeah, it's just American black person, what have you. Not all the time there, champ. Actually, most of the time, nah, not really. Because, I mean, man, we've taken some hits. But... you know, it is a matter of parenting and what kind of culture have we created for parents, for the nuclear family, right? I mean, what kind of, like, when ultimately that the woman has such an incredible advantage in our court systems, what do you expect to happen? And trust me, what took place within our urban spaces, and particularly within the black, quote-unquote, black community, has been in play for, you know, generations now. Like, I mean, it's just the continued escalation. I did a video with the young ladies who beat up a chick, or tried to beat up this older lady on the train.
Everybody being on the same page to make sure that we're involving our kids.
In New York, young black men have taken to throwing buckets of water on police officers. Check this out.
Police were responding to a call about a disorderly group. At one point, someone poured a bucket of water on an officer. A similar incident was captured in Harlem.
And that's the thing. Like, the cops know that the politicians don't have their back anymore. Like, they've been bringing in all these new cops who, you know, aren't particularly as hard-edged as the ones from before. I talk to police officers all the time, and let me tell you something. Back in the day, yeah, the people would have more respect for the police than that. But now they all look to get their behind beat because they want to catch some money from the state. That's how that works. Like, oh yeah, I want to piss this cop off so he can whoop my ass, and I can get some money from the state.
Officers were making an arrest when they were pelted. One was hit on the head with a bucket. NYPD Chief Terrence Monahan called the videos reprehensible and encouraged New Yorkers to treat officers with respect. New York City Mayor Bill de...
And that's the thing. What Mr. Reagan, I think where me and Mr. Reagan will be able to come to an accord on, is that this is a matter of generations of a lack of respect. No respect at all for just another human being. Another person. Is, yeah, you can respect that officer as an officer, but, you know, you should respect your, you know, fellow man as a fellow man or a fellow woman.
Blasio also condemned the incidents. No arrests were made in either cases, but the NYPD is investigating.
I cannot believe the officers tased those guys. Now, in Washington, D.C., the other day, another brutal beating.
In this surveillance video, a group of about a dozen teens jumped a man near the entrance to the Hilton Hotel in the DuPont Circle area of Washington, D.C.
And regardless of what it is, there's no context to any of it. You know, I mean, I understand that they're gonna, that, like, you know, they have what their speculations, but I'm the type of person to believe that, hey, it is what it is. But that moment is that moment, and, you know, the only people involved can truly, you know what's what.
According to the video police released, one of the assailants says that's him. They're seen kicking, punching, and spitting on the man on the ground, while the man walking with him ran inside. He comes out at one point to tell the teens they had the wrong person, but he was also punched in the face.
In Stockton, California,
you see that shit come back and spit in my man's face?
This married couple was beaten in their own driveway.
This surveillance video is from Sunday night on Henry Long Boulevard in Stockton's Weston Ranch neighborhood.
Okay, just so we're clear, check this out. I mean, like, some of those kids look like they could be Puerto Rican, you know?
Look at that video, you can see a group of males and females attack
car victims. The husband and wife being viciously attacked. Tell Fox 40 off camera, all they did while taking out their trash in their own driveway was ask that group of teens to move along. Soon after, the teens aggressively refused with shouts, and then they attacked fast. She claims the violence started when a man...
Damn! I mean, this is terrible. This is just... Oh my goodness. My heart goes out. Even though I do tend to make jokes, I'm not completely heartless in any of this, and like, it breaks my heart to see anybody catch a beating quite like that.
Sucker punched her. Mother of 4 kids, she and her husband are now both in a lot of pain. But she says they won't be bullied out of their own neighborhood.
And all of this is pretty terrible, but none of it compares to what happened in Detroit the other day. This kid, Tyler Wingate, was beaten to death by black...
Yeah, if you go down this channel, I did a video on Tyler Wingate already, speaking, like, actually comparing it to Emmett Till, because a life is a life. You don't take life. It's just, we're supposed to respect each other at least at that level. Like, you know what, you're a living, breathing human being that has other people out in the world that care about you. You know what, I have nothing against you. I mean, just at that level.
Men after a minor accident.
Police say Tyler had been driving a 2011 Buick Regal. He somehow collided with a 2007 Chevy Impala. Surveillance video of a nearby gas station showing the unidentified driver walking up to Tyler and clearly punching him in the face with several...
Shout out to Atheism is Unstoppable, by the way. I mean, he's definitely been another channel that, you know, I ape quite a bit.
Witnesses standing by, Tyler falling to the ground. Much of the video too graphic to show, as Tyler is seen at one moment trying to get up. But the punches continue along with what appear to be kicks. All of them walking away as police say Tyler died right there on the ground.
The irony here is that Tyler Wingate was a Berkeley leftist. He had gone to Detroit because he believed that the city could be turned around, because the poor people of Detroit were really good people that had been dealt a bad hand by luck.
And the deal that he wasn't wrong. I mean, he's a sweet kid. He definitely wasn't wrong. The problem is that he was walking into an environment that was set up long before any of us really even got to this earth.
Now, if you look this up on YouTube, you will only find local news stories about this. This is a tragedy, and it wasn't reported on any national news outlets. In fact, none of the stories we just looked at were covered at all by any of the national news outlets, except Fox News. Fox News, I think, covered the Walgreens thing and the water buckets in New York. But I couldn't...
I mean, nowhere near national, like 100 and some change stuff. But either ways, you know, like, I made sure to speak on at least one of the situations, but I have been seeing it, and it is something that bothers me because, I mean, shoot, man, I grew up with Lethal Weapon. You know, Lethal Weapon, black and white. We could all work together. New York Undercover. Puerto Ricans and blacks. We could all work together. West Side Story.
And anything else on any of the other networks. And these aren't the only stories. These are just some of the more egregious examples that I found from what I happened to see by chance over the past week. But this stuff is on throughout the country every day. Trump called Baltimore filthy, rodent infested, and everybody in that city lost their minds. Suddenly, Baltimore was the most wonderful, cleanest, prettiest darn city I've ever seen.
We all know our city to be home to a collection of unique, inviting neighborhoods.
Now, see, what you're looking at here is the democratic monarchy of Baltimore. One of the, like, trust me, every 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a shoulder there's a shoulder right there too. So we're gonna count them to all 6 of them. Okay, they are the local establishment. What they are there to do is to basically absorb all of the nonsense and say, no, things are fine, things are great. I'm telling you, I'm an elected official, guys. I've been doing it here in Essex County for a minute. I know them. They are completely brainwashed. They are just whatever's masters say. That is exactly the type of person that these folks are. Every single one of them, penis and vaginas.
World-class medical institution, thriving research and tech scene.
It should be beneath the dignity of the president.
I'm telling you, cause this is messed up. This is my chance to really shine, you know? I mean, I got all these cameras and white folks in my face, so, you know, what the president said, this clowns, yo.
Of the United States, the person who's supposed to be the leader of the free world, to disparage and personally attack a great American city and another great American leader.
I am a product of...
Oh, two of these three people I have a video on, from Mr. Crying Blackwell over there and April Ryan, the devil incarnate, yo. I'm telling you, man, this is some Luciferian type shit.
Proud product of Baltimore City, born in Sinai Hospital, just blocks from where the Preakness is run. This is Baltimore.
I am Malcolm X, you know what I mean? Like, come on, man. Stop that I am nonsense.
Hashtag we are Baltimore.
The fact of the matter is...
And the circus ringleader, who the word on the street was Al Sharpton was talking about running for president. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Like that's the level of delusion of grandeur in which these folks operate. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's the whole Nan thing. They sit there and like, oh yeah, we're gonna give homeless people some food, and like, oh man, we're taking action, we're doing great things. Get the fuck out of here, yo. Like, honestly, you're full of shit. The communities, the people, the poison. You are the ones that sat. You a syringe, Sharpton. You are the syringe of the poison.
Elijah Cummings district is the most educated and middle-class aspiring district of blacks in this country.
What? Baltimore is a cesspool. Yeah.
And there was brothers there sitting there screaming it, but they're not going. The cameras ain't going to turn on them. There was brothers that are like, yo, Al Sharpton, yo, take your BS back up to New York, but they're not going to sit there and get them any shine.
Have the highest per capita murder in the country. What are you talking about?
What he said, it may be the way he said it. That's Donald Trump. He said.
And that's the thing. I'm telling you, I don't think that he wasn't one of them, but there was ooh. Hey there. I mean, well, I mean, there's is that weave? That's a lot of weave. I don't know. I can't tell the ethnicity from like right here, but hey, what's up, pink dress? How you doing? Interested. 35% in every video. Me?
Like it is.
You know what? Let's look at a random news story from Baltimore. Let's say from a few days ago.
This video WJZ obtained shows the brutal beating of a 59-year-old civilian Baltimore Police Department employee. The suspects surround him, 2 on scooters, 1 on foot, just before 6 Wednesday morning, then start hitting him, knocking him to the ground, and they don't let up. The brutal assault continues in the middle of Albemarle Street, steps from the Inner Harbor, where he's pushed down again.
You see the way that the dude is walking, particularly the lanky one, how feminine he is in the way he moves. Like, the females are dudes, the dudes are females. I'm telling you, in urban America, everything is completely backwards and upside down, and that poison has spread. I mean, Mr. Reagan, I'm gonna cut this one off here because, you know, like, all due respect, this video's run long enough, but deal is that, you know, this continues to this moment. My hometown, like, I mean, somebody got murdered. It's so weird. Somebody brought a knife to a gunfight and won. It's crazy. I'm about to do a video about it. But either ways, with that being said, he's not wrong. Mr. Reagan isn't wrong. I just feel as if, you know, we're going to see it from different angles. You know, I think there will always be that line that we can get to because we see it from different angles, and that's one of the reasons I actually enjoy, you know, breaking down his videos, doing this series. I don't know if he's going to do a third one on black men. I'm not sure. I'm interested. But with that being said, we're going to bring this one to an end. all the internet stuff. Like it, toss a like. Dislike, go ahead, do that too. I'm not scared of you. Sub if you enjoy my fantastic voice and want to get videos like this every single day. Share, because sharing is caring, and YouTube's definitely not going to do it. And speak. Let me know, what do you think in the comments? I mean, I believe Mr. Reagan's heart's in the right place. You know, just from his angle, from where he sits, this is his view, and it is a very, very dangerous thing. And we're reeling it back and putting that fire out would include having a dead the welfare state, and go back and fix a whole bunch of laws and regulations and legislations that we put in place. And I mean, and one of the things that I think me and him can both agree on is that, you know, less government. There's no such thing as too little government. So I would hope. But either ways, until let me know what you think in the comments, family. Alright, I'd really appreciate it. Until the next one.